Hey everybody, and welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Noah Kelman, and I am teaching you all sorts of really fun and interesting modern exercises, tips, and tricks for jazz and neo-soul weekly. So, if you haven't already, please consider clicking the subscribe button and the little bell to turn on notifications. And please click the like button because it really helps me move up in the YouTube algorithm. Now, of course, just to throw this out there, this video is not for a beginner, right? If you're a beginner and you don't really know about the blues or how to improvise over a blues, I would recommend going to some of my more beginner starter videos. This is really a quick primer on the blues to get into talking about more intermediate to advanced stuff here. And we're gonna be talking again about how to now take the blues to the next level. All right, without further ado, let's jump right into this video about how to make a 12-bar blues sound really modern, really fun, and really interesting. So first of all, what if instead of soloing on an F mixolydian scale, we actually solo on a B mixolydian scale? So what we're doing here is we are actually going to solo essentially in the key of the tritone away from F. Tritone, right, what is that? Well, we count up 3 whole steps, okay? It's called the tritone because it splits the octave evenly, right? Whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step. So a tritone is F to B, that interval is a tritone. The tritone of F is B. So instead of playing F mixolydian, we're gonna play B mixolydian. Then when we get to the B flat 7, we're gonna do E mixolydian. So this is really weird, really crunchy, right? But this is just one really interesting thing you can do here. Then of course, when we get to a C chord, we're gonna do F sharp mixolydian. So let's just take this slow and see how this sounds. So that's really weird, but really interesting. Now, one tip I'll throw out there is this would really be considered playing out, right? We're really essentially imposing a totally different non-diatonic sense of harmony over our diatonic chord, right? Over our F7, we are doing essentially the tonality of B. In my opinion, playing out always works best when you let it lead you to a resolution. So you don't want to literally just play the whole blues like this, always just playing essentially in the key of B. You want to actually resolve back to the key of F sometimes. So here's an example. So what we did here was we actually played in B over the F7, but when we hit the B flat 7, we resolve back to B flat mixolydian. So that to me sounds really nice. We get this clash and the resolution. And it feels like the clash led us to the resolution. In fact, in some ways it's almost more satisfying than going from diatonic to diatonic, right? It's giving us this tension and we're releasing the tension. So going through a whole blues with this concept, it might sound something like this. All right, so hopefully you hear how interesting that can sound. Have fun with it, mess around with it. Also, really quick, before we move on, everybody, I just wanted to let you know that I have got an awesome Black Friday sale happening right now. So use this code on screen and click the link below in the description to go to my store. And this is probably the best discount you'll ever be able to get. So be sure to check that out. All right, now another really fun trick that I love to do, this is something that I hear someone like Brad Mehldau do a lot, is change all of our dominant chords to sus voicings. So instead of 1, 3, 5, flat 7, we actually get 1, 4, 5, flat 7, right? Now we could also, of course, do sus 13. So we've got 1, flat 7, 9, sus 4, and then 13 on top. So that's a really nice sound. So on F, we essentially are doing kind of like a C minor 9 over F. And then on B flat, we're doing like an F minor 9. And then when we get to maybe our G minor 7, we can replace that with an F minor 9, right? So we're making it F sus 13, B flat sus 13, G sus 13. And then at the end, we've also got C sus 13. So 1, flat 7, 9, sus 4, and 13, right? So let's see how this could actually sound. So I was trying to, hit enough bass notes there so you could really hear how that sounds against those bass notes. And of course, this is a trick that'll work really, really well if you're playing with a bass player, because the bass player is going to be playing those roots and you are going to essentially be substituting these sus voicings. All right, now another one of my favorite tricks is actually pretty easy. Just sub out the second chord of each 4-bar phrase with the chord which is a half step above the first chord of that phrase. So our first 4-bar phrase starts with F7, right? And then it goes to B flat 7. Well, instead of B flat 7, we're going to do F7 to F sharp 7, okay? And then in the second phrase, we have B flat 7, and then we're going to, in the second bar, add in a B7, right? Okay? And then in the third phrase, we start with G minor, and then we'll go to A flat minor over the C. Okay, so let's see how this sounds. Or maybe something like this. So the second time through, I actually did B flat sus, and then went up to essentially B sus, right? So that was also a really cool way of throwing in that half step relationship. All right, now the final trick I want to show you today is kind of taking from McCoy Tyner. We're going to slam a fifth in our left hand, and then do this F sus chord here, F, B flat, and E flat, right? And then we can move this chord up a half step if we want, or up in whole steps. So this gives us some really cool sounds in the left hand, and then in the right hand, we'll do some pentatonics, right? Using the F dominant pentatonic scale, F, G, A, C, E flat, okay? And then when we get to B flat, same thing. So we can just add these fourth voicings in. Now, honestly, on that 2-5-1, I might just go back to normal. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed these tips and tricks. These are easily some of my favorite tricks for making a blues really sound more modern, more unique, and just having a really good time with it. If you haven't already, please be sure to click the like button to help me move this video up in the YouTube algorithm. And on top of that, if you're new to the channel, please click subscribe and click the little bell to turn on notifications so you don't miss any more videos just like this one. I'm generally here weekly. Last week I didn't do a video because I actually spilled water all over my computer. Can't believe I did that still, but I did. But I am back, and you can expect videos from me weekly moving forward. So I'll see you next week.